some people are like, yeah, don't do this. Everyone's getting into it. Everyone's posting content. But that's good, because if lots of people are posting, that means if you stand out, you really stand out.
1000%.
So that's something that's good.
1000%.
Yeah. Okay, so I watched all of your YouTube videos. The first YouTube video you posted is the one where you were trying to get into Iman Gaji's team.
Right.
And you managed to do that. It was like a 30-minute video. Tell me, like, how do you even do that? How do you land that role? How old were you?
I was 21,
21,
something like that. Yeah, in that range.
So there was 30,000 applicants and you were 1 out of 30,000.
Yeah, at the time. And I mean, you saw how the story went as well. We ended up working together, ended up being the best thing that happened. Realistically, man, people spray and pray right now, right? So like there's two different ways to get the outcome that you're looking for. Either you hit volume. So if you're hitting volume, it's like, okay, if you're a phone setter, for example, you have to hit a massive amount of like volume. You don't need to be actually that good.
It's a number game.
Need a numbers game. And then there's more of a sniper approach, right? And for me, I knew I wanted to work on a specific type of offer. I didn't want to just go and hit volume. I had confidence in my skill set. Even though I never sold anything online, I've been running sales teams before, so I knew I had a level of confidence on that front. And I was like, okay, well, what do people want? They want value. They don't want just another guy who's sending a loom who's like, hey, like I can be great on your team. You know, I've closed X amount, because people are like, oh, I've closed $500,000 in sales. That's not verifiable, right? It's not verifiable. So anyone can rip any sort of numbers.
You can make an Excel sheet, add like random names, random numbers, have it calculate $500,000 cash collected. You're right.
Yeah. So you know, there's so many people that come in. So I'm like, okay, well, what do they want? They want value. How am I going to provide value? Well, I need to see what is happening right now that they're losing money on, or that could provide them additional value. And so I just went through and I would just spend hours trying to find any sort of crack in the funnel. Right, and I ended up finding, you know, a page where the checkout link wasn't working. Turned out after I got hired, I found out that was actually a fake website that someone created, trying to get leads from them and checking them out to basically their own payment processor.
So if you're watching this podcast, you are probably serious about learning sales. I'm 17 right now. I'm growing my sales personal brand. I haven't started sales coaching yet, so this is literally your advantage. I'm giving away completely free sales training, and I'm giving completely free sales help. So if you're committed and serious about this, message me on Instagram, the word podcast. I'm gonna be, please, only committed people.
So, you know, that was a piece of value. I tried to also show after a while personality. So both the value side, but also culture fit, right?
Video.
Because the video, right? Like, and that was what got the response, right? So I was just going through Fiverr, randomly saw, you know, this guy milking a cow, and he'll say whatever you want. So I'm like, okay, let me provide some value, gave him the script, got the video back, sent it over. And also, like, you have to understand, like, if you're going for a specific position, you have to understand what is the qualities that they're looking for in that position. And then show that you have those qualities. Don't say that you have those qualities. Anyone can say anything. So I was showing that, hey, I'm willing to follow up. Like, I'm not going to take no for an answer. He didn't respond for what, like 7 follow-ups or something like that. I forget the exact amount, but it was multiple different follow-ups. No responses. So I'm showing that I can follow up. I'm showing that I understand how to do research, understand the end demographic that I want to sell to. So I went through LinkedIn, found the book, read the entire book. I bought the book just so I can show it in the video, even though I listened to it on an audiobook and I was reading it on a PDF. And so I basically showed all the characteristics that they were looking for. So it made no sense for them to hire anyone else. And
you stayed on his ass too.
I just stayed on his ass, bro.
Yeah.
Just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Something people say a lot is like, this is saturated, like landing a closer role, impossible, it's literally saturated. And what I noticed is that's the literally the dumbest thing, because you could go into like the most niche specific thing. I don't know, like I don't know if pickleball is niche or not, but like, for example, pickleball, if I play pickleball right now, I'm gonna realize how saturated it is, and it's impossible for me to actually become pro unless I do what's needed to be done. And it's the same thing with sales, for example. It's not like everything is saturated. Like, you can't find anything that's not saturated, but it's just like you need to be different, which is something you did, and you need to really want it. So if you can't land the role, it's simply you're bad at sales or you don't want it bad enough.
1000%.
And if you want it bad enough, you would have been already good at sales.
Exactly.
So this is something that I really like you were behind that opportunity and you were different. And I've actually done a similar thing. I've been trying to get this guy, his name is Farouk. He's like big on e-commerce. I was trying to go into his offer because I love selling e-com coaching. I've done e-com before, it worked for me.
Right.
So I really want to sell e-com. And I did similar to you. Like, I was messaging him, I messaged him on multiple accounts. posted a story, close friends, or I only put him, tagged him. Like I went through all of the ways. So I did similar thing to you. And you ended up like landing that role, and how was it?
It was a good role. To be fair with you, bro, so I'll keep everything transparent. I was extremely sick throughout that entire week. So when I got hired, it was like a week or two before they can bring me up. And so I don't know if you know Buckley's. It's like a cough syrup. So not like the codeine side, but it's like cough syrup.
It, yeah.
So I was just drinking the cough syrup the entire week to be able to speak. You're speaking 8 hours a day. To be honest with you, the offer is extremely easy to sell. Like it takes no skill to sell that offer because his personal brand does majority of the selling. So people are coming on, like they're asking you like, oh, do you know Iman? Like, do you think I can make it? Like that, shit like that. So it wasn't, I'm not gonna hype up myself for, selling every deal that I got on a call with during that week. But by the end of the week, I slept through my alarm, bro, which was completely on me because I had to wake up. It was either 5 or 6 a.m. for the morning meeting because they had it in like LA time. So I slept through the alarm. I woke up 40 minutes after the meeting started. So at the time, the sales manager, I got on call with him. He's like, bro, like, I mean, you've done extremely well during this week, but we have a probation period. So the first 90 days or whatever it is probation period. And I was like, go that same day, which was the best opportunity that ever happened because that same day, my old business partner, when I used to run a marketing agency, he started doing YouTube automation during the year and a half that I was doing sales. And so he was like, yo, I have this little like course I'm selling. He was making like 10K a month off the course. But he's like, I want to get into high ticket coaching. Just come through. Let's rip this together. And then, we ended up scaling that up to like $200,000 months. And then a couple months later, we came to Dubai for the first time, spent 60 grand to come see Iman in the mastermind. And since then we've, hung out multiple times, cool guy. Like, I respected how they approached it as well, because you also have to keep a culture of like, you have to perform, right? Especially in the beginning period when someone has to prove themselves, you have to perform. But it was like the best thing that happened, because if not, I might have stayed in that closing role for years, and my income would have been capped as well. So I ended up getting into a different role. And that did, on paper very well, right?
That's amazing. Yeah. That's why his company is that big, Like if some people find this like a bit like, it's just 40 minutes, it's not that deep. That's why your company is shit and his company is amazing. Right. You're 25?
25.
You're 25. So it's been like 4 years since
that happened. Yeah. Yeah. 3.5, 4 years. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was 2022. Yeah.
The frequency, like obviously on the radio, when you put like music on 120 hertz, it's not like the music on 240 hertz.
Right.
Like the frequency you operate on and your circle is like just a whole other level. Like I've seen it, I've been with them, like it's a whole other level. How? Like, why is it like this?
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is, bro. You just have to simplify it the fuck down. So like, I don't know if you've seen the meme where it's like the IQ bell curve. So you'll have people on the lowest side of the IQ and the highest side of the IQ moving in the same way. And then you have people in the middle that are overthinking it. So I think everybody goes through this overthinking stage where it's like, okay, to get this done, I need to make sure X, Y, and Z is completed. I need to do it in this way. And if this happens and this happens, but really what it is, and this is why, again, I've seen people that are not, intellectuals, right? That are ripping, I say this with love. I have a friend of mine, very simple guy, love him to death, extremely great morals, and he's ripping $2 million a month profit right now, reselling Pokemon. Right, just Pokemon cards, right? And his mentality around it was just very simple. You do things, you get context from doing those things, and then you kind of switch the way that you're going. You're not over-analyzing or overthinking. There's a level where you can get to where then there's a very big importance in the details. For example, if you're running a webinar and you know that, let's say your opt-in rate is 2%, and you're gonna make off that 2% $1 million. If you just get the opt-in rate to 3%, so just one additional percent, and everything else stays the same, you make an extra $500,000. So there is a time where you can go and crunch the details, but I think the operators at the highest level tend to understand what is the biggest bottleneck right now. This is the only thing I'm gonna focus on, and everything else I'm either gonna not do or delegate. That's the only two things. So I'm just gonna focus on this one specific thing. Once this is unlocked, once this is no longer the bottleneck, then you just move on to the next thing. And you'll end up seeing that after a certain period as well, once you have the network, once you have a bit of finances behind you, once you understand these things, you can actually work less hours and get better results, because again, you have an understanding, you have systems, you have people, you have finances behind it, where you can do less work, but it's more, yeah, exactly. More tools, more, basically just more leverage. That's all it is. It's just like you're building leverage across the board. So.
Yeah, this is something I've seen from every single person that I looked up to that is successful, that I love. it's literally like, it's seriously super simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. Like, for example, like getting to 1 million followers is super simple, but it's obviously not easy. Like you just need to post.
Yeah.
It sounds super simple, but it's not easy. Like posting every day, 3 times a day. So this is something I get.
And they try to change it when they don't need to. So like a lot of people,
Yeah.
like for example, you'll try to post content for 6 months straight. You're posting every single day. Nothing is working. And then you get something that works. If you get something that works, milk the fuck out of it before you try to do anything else. You know what I mean? Like 80-90% of your time should be maintaining the thing that already works. And then 10 to 20% of your time is spent on doing the things that are potentially going to work. So I think a lot of people is that they'll hit, you know, a good month, they'll hit something, and then they'll try to switch it again because they've been in the habitual process of continuously switching, right? So it's like, again, like if there's oil, you struck oil, and you get 1 liter of oil, are you going to go check over there, or are you going to continue trying to get as much oil from here? You know what I mean? You're going to try to get extract as much oil from here, and then spend a little bit, you know, trying to find other veins because this one eventually will run out, and then you have something else to look forward to.
Yeah, I see this a lot where like people just quit. I remember 1 year ago when I met Andy Elliott. There's someone like I love because he's in sales and things like this. I remember he told me like, there's going to be a period in your time where you're not doing, like you're doing ridiculous with sales, you're not making good money. You're going to feel like switching or quitting. Don't doubt yourself, keep going. And I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. Literally, not 4 months ago, I would say 6 months ago or something around this, I was at the point where I felt like I was just shit at sales. It's not meant for me, because I've seen lots of people say like, you're either good at sales or you're not, like you're born naturally. And I was super close to just leaving it, but I'm super glad I'm not, because it's like, this is literally why people don't make it in, like when they put a goal and they don't make it, it's literally because they leave it too early. What do they say? Shiny object syndrome, I think. Yeah.
Shiny object syndrome, woman in a red dress. There's different analogies. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's super simple. It's literally just basics. And I used to just overcomplicate it. What you said, I was literally in the middle thinking like, it doesn't make sense. Like just become really good at sales, up on a closing roll, boom, you'll make $10K. But turns out it is that simple. I'm just overcomplicating it.
You know what this is called? It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
So Dunning-Kruger effect is, if you can imagine, there's a chart, and on the y-axis you have confidence, right? And on the x-axis you have experience. Okay, so when you start off, you have no confidence and no experience, right? Because you don't know anything and you haven't started, right? And then as you go, very quickly you gain a lot of confidence, even though you have very little experience, because you start to learn the terminology. And this could be about anything, right? It could be e-com. You start learning like, oh, ads. I just have to run ads. I get a supplier. They're in China. I can get it for a cheaper cost, and then I sell it for higher in countries where I can provide, you know, I can charge more for that specific product. I can use this for making websites. It's very simple. So you gain a lot of confidence in a short period of time. And then what happens is that there's this big drop off in the curve, because you're like, wait, this is like way harder than I expected. My ads are getting declined. Oh shit, my supplier ghosted me after I paid for inventory. Oh, X, Y, and Z. And you start losing all of that confidence as you gain a little bit more experience. And then what ends up happening is that you'll have this like more linear curve up of confidence if you continue from that, they call the trough of despair, because you feel like you're in despair, you want to switch over, it's not made for me, it's too saturated, all the bullshit that people say in every sort of industry. And most people, 85-90% of people quit there. And that's where your competition, for the most part, when you're starting out, is. They quit right there. But if you just continue and you start learning, it's like, oh, okay, like I have to make sure that I'm not utilizing these sort of products because I'm gonna have a hard time in meta ads. Oh, I actually want to do something more recurring because then I can keep my MRR up instead of just relying on new sales. You start going through and you gain a little bit more competence. And over time, that's when you actually become someone that knows what they're doing and knows what they're talking about and has the confidence around it as well. So the Dunning-Kruger effect shows that even if there's a YouTube video with 10 million views on how to do something specific, of those 10 million, maybe 100,000 will even start. And of those 100,000, once they get to that value of despair, maybe only 100 or 200 are going to continue through after. So your actual competition of people that are actually doing it is 100 to 200 people, not the 10 million people that saw the same information.
Yeah, at that point, I remember I was at the bus and I like hopped off 2 interviews, sales interviews. The first interview, he called me up on the bus. He was like, yeah, I just wanted to call you. I didn't want to text it. Honestly, you're like a bit young, you're unqualified, things like this. And then the second guy was like, honestly, man, you're fat. You have a bit of autism you need to brush off. Now I'm looking back at it, it's funny. But then I was like,
course.
yeah, I need to hop off sales. It's not
Right.
for me. But I'm super glad I continued. And the thing I need, I understand very well, which a lot of people don't understand. Like if someone says something, he's saying it for a reason.
Yeah.
Like yes, like if I say, for example, you're fat, there's multiple reasons why I'm saying it. I might say it because you're fat. I might say it because I'm just a bully and you're not actually
Yeah.
fat. So, like, there's a reason to why they said it. So obviously there's something wrong. I'm just unqualified. Maybe it's something I need to work on. So, yeah, I'm glad I continued.
And even with that front, bro, it's like you need to be aware of other people's thoughts. That doesn't mean that you need to take it to heart in the sense like, oh, he called me fat, he called me unexperienced. But it's important to understand because at the end of the day, like sales in general is interacting with people, right?
Yeah.
It's getting someone else to believe your version of reality enough for them to make some sort of decision. That is what sales is.
Yeah.
So you're selling every time you do anything. You're selling when you tell me to come do a podcast with you.
Yeah,
That is
you're
sales.
right, yeah.
That, you know, going to a hotel and trying to get a suite upgrade
Yeah.
for free or whatever, that's a sale. Talking to a girl, that's a sale. Obviously, a selling interaction is a sale. So you're dealing with people. So in sales, you need to understand people more than anything else because that's what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, you're getting on a call with a prospect and you might be like, this person is dumb, or this person might not understand what I'm trying to say, or this person has a lack of understanding maybe in the vocabulary, whatever it may be, right? You need to understand people's opinions and thoughts and the way they come to decisions and the reason that they have these thoughts to begin with, or else you can't perform in sales. So like I used to work in HVAC. So HVAC, we used to sell furnaces, water heaters, insulation, whatever it may be in Canada. And so I did that for about a year. I became the sales manager there. You know, the team under me was doing $1 million a month. Obviously, smaller margins. I was maybe making like 20K a month. But I was driving 10,000 kilometers a month, working 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I loved it because I got so much FaceTime with so many people. And I remember I was performing very well at the time. But you know, sometimes I would knock on a door, I'd be speaking with them and they would see my name tag and I see them like going down and they check Ahmed. I was working in small white towns. You know, some people are racist, some people are whatever. You could call them racist. You can say they want to work with people of their own, whatever it may be. And I was like, let me try something. So I switched my name tag from Ahmed to Adam. And immediately the next week, I had a 30% uptick in conversions. Same scale sales, and same sort of audience, same offer, same everything. All I changed was my name. And I remember telling this to some people. I told it to my mom, my sister, and they were really mad. And they're like, wow, people are racist. Wow, like you shouldn't have to do that, X, Y, Z. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't
like
give a
the
shit.
story,
Like, it's just like, bro, I know who I'm selling to. I'm not lying about anything. It's fine. It's a name tag. Who cares, right? I'm selling them the same thing, giving them the same offer, same service, same everything. But I understood the ICP enough at the point to be like, okay, let me change name tag. And I literally sold 30% more. Didn't change anything else. So I think it's important to understand who are you speaking to, why do they have that mentality, and what you mentioned, is there a bit of truth in what they said, even if the packaging or the way they said it, take it as constructive.
Criticism, yeah.
Take it, you know, even if they're not meaning it in a constructive way, take it as constructive.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, like maybe they're telling me I should lose weight, or maybe they're saying my I don't know, anything, right? Like
exactly,
my vocabulary or whatever it may be. It's like, oh, maybe I should work on that. You know, that's simple.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. And you're doing jiu-jitsu right now, and you're keeping up the health, which is important, bro. It's important across the board. Yes, because people are going to look at you at a certain way, but also right now you're young, so you can have unlimited energy no matter what. But to sustain that over a long period of time, if you're not taking care of your body, good luck.
Yeah,
like you're not going to be able to perform.
Yeah, and the reason why I like sales is because I've seen myself, what I do in my life influences the money I make in the sales. Obviously what I do influences the money, but I meant like on sales calls, the way I perform is like attached to what I do in my life. Like for example, when I started sales and I was literally just doing nothing, just at home, walking, whatever, versus after I started doing stuff that are scary, like riding a jet ski at like 100 kilometers per hour, just doing things that are scary. Whatever scares me, I'm doing them. Scary roller coasters, just things that scare me, cold approaching girls, things like this. And then I go on the sales call, like it's just a huge difference.
1000%.
And knowing that, okay, if I want to make more money, I have to get into shape. It's like connected, so it forces me to. Like it just improves your life 100% because how can I close someone to do something that I don't even do?
No.
Like if I want someone to invest $10,000 into my program and they have fear. How can I get them over this fear if I myself don't get over my own fears?
1000%.
So that's why sales is like essential. And that's why I love it.
1000%. Dude,
Yeah.
I think it's the most invaluable skill.
Mhm.
I think everyone should learn it, especially any young man should learn sales. 1000%. Even if you forget about the money aspect of it, the skill set that you learn is the most invaluable skill set that you can have. A lot of people talked about this as well, which is 100% true. I was able to take massive strides where I could lose, a lot of money, zero out, whatever it may be, but it's protection because I know I could just pick up another sales role, make 5 figures a month, and do that for a couple months, get a bit of a nest egg, and then go try the next thing. So when you have that skill set, you're literally set for life, in my opinion. It's actually if you want safety, you should have this skill because the skill allows you to have safety in the future. And also the money aspect of it is great. And also it's one of those things where maybe you're closing an offer right now and the OTE is 5K a month, but then you can get into an offer where it's 15, 20K. There's closers making $40,000, $50,000 a month, 100K a month. But then that same skill set, I mean, like I've sold $75,000 deals for my own agency. I've raised 6 figures at a 7-figure valuation for a software company on an idea, basically like a little MVP and an idea. And you can get to a term where you're selling things are for millions of dollars, right? That skill set is the same. It's just the ICP changes, and you have to understand the ICP, what they're looking for. But that sales skill is the most important thing. And one thing I love about what you said as well is doing things that you're scared of. You have to do things that you're scared of. Like growing up, my 2 biggest fears were, spiders. Like I fucking hated spiders. Something happened when I was like 5 years old, and I think it just like left something in my head. And then heights. So the spider thing, got over it. A friend had a tarantula. I held it. I was like, this thing is more scared of me than I'm scared of it. The heights thing was like really in my head. Right? And if I watched a video of someone skydiving, I would feel my hands sweaty, my stomach like falling, whatever it may be. And then in junior high, some of my friends I had at the time, they were doing parkour, right? So I see them like jumping off of buildings and doing flips and all this shit. I'm like, how are you guys not scared? They're like, it's because we've done it so many times in the gym where there's padding, there's safety, there's everything on that front. So, when you do, I think 1,000 times, if you do it 1,000 times, you can do it. For example, if I put a wooden plank right now, so a wooden plank this size, and I tell you to walk on it, are you scared?
Easy.
You're not scared at all.
Not, yeah.
If I put it 5 kilometers up in the sky, are you scared?
Definitely.
Why? Because the danger exists, but in reality, it's the same thing. You're just walking.
Because what's fear? It's like what? Why is fear scary? What's fear?
You're scared of something that isn't real. I think fear and anxiety obviously are there because of the way that, like if you look at it in the past, if you didn't have fear and you look at a lion, you're like, oh, cute little lion, you go up to it, you're gonna get fucking eaten.
It's because it's unknown.
It's unknown, yeah, of course.
It's unknown. So the best way to get over fear is literally just exposure.
Yeah.
Like something I was super scared of. Gym coaches would bully me. Literally boxing coaches would bully me. Literally like boxing, like sparring. I would be so scared of sparring. Like someone would, when I was sparring, I'd lift my leg up. I didn't want to get punched on the face.
Right.
The second I got punched in the face, I was like,
it's not that bad.
It's not bad at all, So it's literally fear of unknown. The second you do it, it's not scary.
It's exposure therapy.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to someone that does skydiving, and I'm like, aren't you scared? How do you do it while being scared? He told me like the second your body is off that plane, there's literally zero fear.
Yeah.
So it's literally, it's fake. Fear isn't even a thing.
Yeah.
It's literally gone the second you do it.
Yeah. And if you build that muscle that every time you're scared of something, you do it anyways, and then you realize
fearless.
it's not that bad, and you confront it,
Yeah.
then now it becomes a superpower. And now, like, are you going to be scared to go approach a random girl on the street?
Yeah.
Fuck no. You know what I mean? Are you going to be scared to drop the price on someone on a 1-hour call? Fuck no. Because like, you've gone through it enough times, you're like, oh, like this fear it's not real. It's in my head.
Yeah, you're right. And I've seen this somewhere. If you don't do things where you feel like you're going to die, or like you're creating your own problems, you're feeling that pain, like the stomach feeling, your body creates problems for you. So then you're like stress tolerance, something small happens, you're like going crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas, for example, let's say you lost $1 million and then you lost like $10,000. Like, yeah, it's bad, but you don't care because you've lost $1 million.
Of course.
But it's the same exact thing.
It's exposure therapy, bro.
Yeah.
People have the same thing. Like I'm sure you know some guys in e-com where they go from spending $100 a day to like they're scared to go and spend $1,000 a day or $5,000 a day or whatever it is, but they have the money for it. They're profitable. It's like, why are you scared? Because it's this fear of loss. They've never done it before.
Yeah.
And then you talk to the guys that are spending $50,000 a day they're not scared at all, bro.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, 50,000. Like, yeah, of course, it's our
Yeah.
daily spend. And so I think that exposure is very important. And then you just realize like there's no other way around it. Like it's like you're not gonna grow if you're not pushing yourself to a new place. Like if you're in the gym and you're doing the same weight every single time on bench, you're not gonna get stronger. Like it's not possible. So it's like, how can you expect to get better results if you're not willing to put in more effort or indulge in fear that you previously did not indulge in? Like that's it. It's very simple. All the guys I used to look up to, we're all part in the same circles now. We all like hang out in the same places. We all see each other. They pick up the bill, I pick up the bill, whatever it is. And so, you know, you can look at someone and be like, okay, this is someone I want to be like, but don't put them at this pedestal of like unattainability. Because as soon as something is unattainable, if it's a girl, a car, a guy in the entrepreneur space, whatever it is, then you're never going to fucking attain it. Like, it's just like, it's not going to happen. So I would just simplify it down. Be a higher value person, right? So grow yourself. Try to provide them value as much as possible. And I think FaceTime is also very helpful. So what I mean by that is when you come into a dinner, it's very different than if you meet, you know, Maurits or myself, you know, in passing at a tape fight, right? You come into a dinner, there's FaceTime. There's a deeper connection. We're able to talk, you know, more closely. So you end up sticking in someone's brain more. As you do that, you realize that, okay, well, this person now knows me. This person knows me. Instagram, very powerful tool. If someone sees that someone's following you, they're like, oh, this person's following you. Maybe this is, you know, someone I can hang out with. So try to be in the mix as much as possible. And that's what you're doing extremely well, is that you're doing it in person. So either do it in person or get onto calls. But always try to be in the mix, get FaceTime with people.
So basically what I got is, makes sense. Basically just be on the same frequency as them. Otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Same frequency.
Be on the frequency, and FaceTime is super helpful.
Yeah. This is something I realized. You're right.
Simple, bro. It's like none of the stuff that we're talking about here is that deep. I think majority of people are already aware of it, but they're trying to avoid the hard part of like, oh, like actually becoming someone of somewhat value. And becoming someone of value doesn't mean like, oh, you need to be making X amount of dollars per month or anything like that. It's like, you know, even in your case, man, like you're growing right now, you're making more money, everything is going well on that front, but that's not why we connected. We connected because you had that energy. You fucking came to the dinner, you said what's up, you got invited in, you're asking people questions, you're trying to provide value, X, Y, and Z, and you're taking your shots. Like you have to take your shots. Like most people don't. Most people are like, oh, like, am I overstepping by asking X, or am I overstepping if I do this? It's like, dude, just take your shots. No one gives a fuck. Like it's not that deep.
This is something I used to like overcomplicate so much. 2 years ago, I would like do something, ask something from someone, they would say no. Because I have this thing like, I'm really deep into this. You don't ask, you don't know. So like anything that comes to mind, obviously not something outrageous. Like I always ask. But I remember like when someone would say no, I would really deep it. And I would like try to get over it. But the truth is like, if they say no, you're not the main character. Like world doesn't revolve around you. They said no, it's just a moment in their life. But for you, it's big because maybe you put them on like a pedestal or you see it as big. It's really not that deep if they say no. So I would like to do some role plays. Are you down for that?
Let's do some role play, bro.
Let's do it. So I'm gonna throw some objections and then you just handle them. Sound good?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, everything you shared sounds good. I just wanna I have other calls booked in with other people, similar thing. I just wanna, you know, hop off the calls, check them out, and then I'll let you know.
Makes perfect sense, man. I mean, outside of the other calls right now, did everything we go through today make you feel like you're going to be able to hit that outcome of being able to, you know, put your kids into private school, to being able to make sure the wife is no longer working, you know, 16-hour shifts at the nursing home? Do you feel like this program has literally everything you need to being able to get you to that point?
Yeah, everything you shared sounds good. You know,
you could be honest with me, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like two men talking here, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, and so when you're getting onto these other calls, what are you looking for that is missing here that you feel like could actually give you that additional support to being able to hit those points?
Yeah, listen, I mean, like I told you, I'm new to this whole thing. I'm kind of traditional. I just do my normal job. So I don't know what should be added, what is missing. Like, I don't know anything. That's why I kind of want to do my research.
Of course, man. I mean, it makes sense. You want to make sure they have all your ducks in a row before you make some sort of decision, right? I mean, let me ask you this. How long have you been thinking about creating this new situation for yourself?
Oh, it's been a good 2 years now.
2 years?
Yeah.
What have you done that time?
Yeah, I've looked at it, but like now this is what I want to do. This is why I hopped on a call. This is the first thing like I've really done.
So like you've been thinking about it for 2 years but this is the first time that you took any sort of action towards it, right?
Yeah, because before it was a bit tough for me to actually like start. Now my children graduated school, so now I have like slightly for me.
Okay. And realistically, like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back that made you decide, okay, like now is the time that I'm actually gonna take some action towards it?
Yeah, I was just scrolling through social media. I saw your page at school, so I just wanted to see what it's all about.
100%. And before the call, you saw all the testimonials of all the people that we worked with, you know, in very similar situations as yourself that are now in the situation that you want to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about those?
Yeah, it looks very nice. Like you showed me them, it looks very good.
100%. I mean, let me ask you a question, right? Before you got into accounting, right? Were you just thinking about how you're going to do accounting, or did you start getting the education that was required for you to get into accounting and actually be able to provide that service?
I went to education.
You went to education. Yeah. And so once you started learning how to do it, then you got the confidence to actually be able to get those results, correct?
Yes.
Were you just kicking around the idea of actually doing accounting and learning about it when you knew you wanted to be an accountant back then?
No, I just did it.
You just did it. Why'd you just do it? Because
that's what's needed to be done.
Okay. So so you felt that if you took that education and you got into the field, you were going to become an accountant, and you felt like you had everything you needed to do so, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned already on the call that you feel like this is everything that you need right now. The support between the CSMs are hopping on daily calls with yourself, the weekly calls with myself. Again, someone that has been able to grow the store to 7 figures a month, as you've seen on the call here. Again, the case studies that you've been able to see of hundreds of students that were in the exact same situation as you that were able to get these results as well, right? So let me just be honest here, right? Is it that you feel like you're missing info, which you said you weren't missing any info, or is it that you're potentially afraid of not being able to hit those results? Because a lot of times when they're saying that they want more info, it's because they feel like they're missing something, right? But if you've shown them the entire plan, they've already seen the results, it's that they feel like they might not trust that you're the guy that's going to be able to get them to that side. So the whole thing around it is ask them enough questions to feed them back into realizing if it's an emotional objection or a logical objection. And if it's logical, that's one side. If it's emotional, it's another side. So right now I'm trying to isolate which one it is.
Right, yeah. And I liked how the first thing, like I like the framework. First, understand what's the problem. Is it value? Like you want to understand what the problem is.
100%.
Is what we have. Like, can it help you? Said yes, and then you went down with it. I like it.
Because people have smoke screens, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest issue is that when you're objection handling, there's two biggest issues that I find. Number one is that you didn't probe enough. So you don't have enough ammo. So a lot of people don't spend enough time getting a portfolio and an understanding and discovery of the person. They have very, very like flat surface type of reasons why someone wants to take an action. Oh, I wanna be able to quit the accounting. I wanna help my wife. I wanna take care of my kids. But is it that, or is it that you want to make sure that your kids are in a situation that you weren't in when you were growing up, where you had to work for your own education, which actually made you, in debt and X, Y, and Z, and you felt like you were distant from your family? You have to go deep enough where you have enough ammo, which is why, again, role playing is important. But when you do probing correctly, you can hit them with very hard emotional facts that they've said in the beginning of the call. So that's one aspect of it. And the other side of it is that most people, again, are going to throw up a smoke screen. Talk to the wife. Maybe I have other calls. Other calls could be a logical thing. Like fear. You know what I mean? But it's fear, it's lack of trust, it's X, Y, and Z.
It's either certainty or fear, always.
That's it. 100%. That's all it is. So you're trying to isolate. Like, what is it? Because once you isolate, then you're actually hitting the right smoke
Then you can actually solve it. Because how can you solve a problem that you don't even know?
You go into a doctor and he's just like, take these pills. You're like, I didn't even tell you what hurts.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, I have chest pain. Chest pain can mean 1,000 different things. They need to isolate the issue, right? Because if they start giving you medicine, let's say they give you a medicine, so they handle your objection. They give you the medicine, and that wasn't the actual issue. And now you're going back to them and you're like, okay, well, that didn't solve it because, the pain was actually because of something else. Now there's lack of trust with the person. So you don't want to handle an objection that isn't the actual objection. Because then you're just spinning wheels, you're wasting time, and you're creating more friction. I
was doing a call review, and I was watching the call, and the guy was like, I just want to speak to my brother. And this is a mistake I see. Like, he doesn't actually want to speak to his brother. Like, he thinks he wants to speak to his brother, but it's actually fear. So
100%, because in the call, before you even pitched anything, you should have asked, is there anyone else that is helping you make this decision, or is it 100% in your books?
Decision maker,
right? So you're asking decision maker, and like there's different ways that you can approach it, things that flow nicer for different people. But if you've already asked that, then you can be like, you already told me that you're the only decision maker. So is there context that you're asking for from your brother that you're missing right now? Like, what is it actually, right? And it's fear, uncertainty. Because people feel like you have the answer, they trust you, they trust the process, and they trust the program. Like, that's it. They just need to trust you as a person. They need to trust the program can get them the results, and they need to trust, I guess, the industry itself. Because maybe they have, fear on, like, I don't know, let's say real estate, because they think the real estate market is going to go to shit or whatever it is. So they need to trust those three things. If they have full trust in all three, they buy. If they don't, it's because they're missing something. That's it.
Yeah. And one thing I know, like one thing that is very good, to like get someone to open up is like anti-selling. Are you aware of it?
Of course.
Where you like recap everything they just said.
Of course.
And mention, okay, so just so make sure I got it right, you recap.
Yeah.
Like, why do you really want to do this?
Of course.
So like you're pulling back and then they chase it.
Yeah.
Something that is always worked.
I mean, on that front as well, how I used to do my sales calls is that you do your pitch. So, you have your frame, you're probing, and you get into your pitch, do your pitch. At the end, when you're doing price drop, you tell them, okay, and so for everything, that we already mentioned, the 15-hour program, the 4 hours a week of coaching calls, the 24/7, you basically say all of that. It comes down to, before you actually drop the price, I like to bring them out of the technical side, the deliverable side, and get them back into an emotional brain. Because people buy with an emotional side, not the logical side, right? People buy with emotion, justify with logic. So when you say all of these things, the deliverables, you're still speaking to their logical brain. You're not talking to their emotional brain, and then you're dropping a price. So what I like to do is to bring it back to emotion, be like, and honestly, none of that actually fucking matters. All that matters is that what you're doing right now is going from someone who is in scenario A, so you're repeating back their situation, right? All the things that they're unhappy about, unfulfilled about, whatever it is, to a person that can do scenario B, take care of their wife, not have to rely on their 401k that's completely dwindling away, be able to reconnect with their kids after years of spending all that time working instead of being there for the soccer matches, X, Y, and Z. Like your father wasn't there for you.
So you're taking it emotionally.
Take it back to emotional and then drop the price. Because that's what they're buying.
I love it.
That they're buying the outcome.
Because something people don't understand, and this is like, you understand this, they just directly go into sales learning, but they don't actually understand psychology. They don't understand that the brain is like 3 parts. Primal, which is called like the reptilian, because reptiles also have it. Logical and emotional. Like it needs to make sense on all 3 parts. And what you do is, okay, you explain the deliverables, but then since there's a primal brain, which is like for flight or fight, if they got scanned before, this brain is going to be like on. You're making sure to like kind of turn it off so you can go into emotional.
Exactly.
This is the first time I've heard someone do it this way, and I really like this.
You have to close that loop.
Yeah.
First, close the loop. Talk about the deliverables. Do you feel like this can get you the end outcome? Boom. Amazing. Yes.
Done with logical.
Any issues on it at all? No, that you 100% feel like if you got X, Y, and Z, you would 100% get the results that you're looking for. Yes. Amazing. What you're actually getting, because none of that actually fucking matters, what you're actually getting is this. And speaking like a human, you know what I mean? Like obviously if you're talking to someone or, they've never swore a day in their life, don't swear. You gotta mirror them. But I think a lot of people are like very uptight and rigid. But when you talk to them like a human, because people can sense when you're in selling versus talking like a human, they're way more likely to trust you.
I think it's just that intention. If your intention is good and you don't just want the commission, boom. You don't have to worry about the way you're speaking. And also something I like to do is I like to make them close themselves so then they can't give me an objection. Like if I tell them why is now the best time for you to start, and they tell me like, oh, because I don't have time, I have to do this, and then they tell me like, I need to think about it, it's gonna look dumb. Like you just said, you need to start right now because of this.
That's ammo.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like you have to get the ammo so you can shoot it later. So people are trying to objection handle with no ammo.
Yeah.
So you're trying to fire a gun, there's no fucking ammo.
Exactly.
So you gotta get the ammo. They have to say it themselves. So it's leading questions. So you leave it first open-ended. Basically, you're like, I want them to say X. So you're gonna ask questions and slowly close in the questions. I go from open broad to closer and closer and closer. And you're wording the questions that leads them to saying the thing that you want them to say because they have to say it. You can't say it for them.
Yeah.
They have to be the ones that put the identity on themselves. And also on anti-selling, funny enough, something that we ended up doing completely by accident, I can't even take credit for it, completely by accident, was that with the YouTube automation offer that we had, I still swear by a great offer. I mean, I did YouTube automation myself. We've grown channels to 1 million subscribers in 3 months. The main thing with YouTube though is that it is long cycle before you tend to get like actual results. YouTube, you're posting for a while, you have to get 1,000 subs, 4,000 hours on YouTube before you get monetized. There's a lot of, it takes a while. Great business model, takes a while. So we realized when we went through and we saw the students that were actually successful versus not successful is that they did certain things. You know, every single one of them hopped on at least 2 coaching calls per week. They posted 2 videos per week. They did certain deliverables. So we got on the calls and we didn't want to bring on people that were not going to get the results that we want them to get. So we would tell them like, look, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. You need to hop on at least 2 coaching calls a week. You need to finish the program in the first 2 weeks. You need to post 2 videos a week after your first month of joining the program. If you can't do that, this is not the program for you. Please don't join. You will lose your money. It's not going to work for you. And we were saying that because we wanted to get better results for people. What that did was it made us pull back and it made them want it even more. So our closing rate went through the roof. And it was because they felt like, wow, this guy is setting realistic expectations with me. He's being transparent. And he's telling me that if I don't do X, Y, Z, I'm not going to get results versus everyone else who's like, bro, just put an hour in your lunch break and that's it. And you'll be completely fine. You'll get the results. We were asking students to do 15 hours minimum per week of work, which a lot of these offers are saying like two hours a week or whatever it is. And so that anti-selling is also a massive trust thing that will help you get the sale. But also make sure that you're setting the right expectations so people are happy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys have like an issue going up to random girls, maybe talking up to a girl, whatever it is. And so I remember I just like had a thing because once I got into sales, like obviously there was no issue cold approaching anyone because it's like, bro, I'm getting told no 200 times a day. Yeah, I mean, whether I'm calling or knocking or whatever it is when you're selling someone. So I would like take my boys out and I would be like, okay, you're going to do some cold approach tonight. And they would be like, kind of like worried, scared, whatever it is. I'm like, bro, you need to talk to any girl, like any girl or any guy. You just need to go up to random strangers and get comfortable getting declined. So instead of telling them, hey, you need to go get 5 numbers, I would tell them you need to go get 20 no's. And I already knew that they were not going to get 20 no's. Like if they go and speak to 20 different people, they're not going to get 20 no's. And even if they do, it's fine because they're going to build more resilience around it. And every single time I'm going to be like, okay, what went wrong? What went wrong? And in reality, every single time I've gone within 5 to 7 people, they're already like getting a number in Instagram or whatever it is. But you can't just imagine that you're going to see this girl and be like, wow, like that, she's super pretty. And imagine that you're going to have the confidence or the experience to go up to her and not make the conversation awkward. But because you build up the resilience around like just going up to random people, whether it's Andrew Tate, Luke, whoever it is, you're going to build more and more of that resilience. So the next guy you meet that you're like, oh shit, this is a sick guy. You're way less likely to have that feeling. And even if you do, you can easily push through it because you've done it so many times before.
Yeah, if I met Luke like a year ago, I would have definitely fucked up.
Yeah.
You know? But when I met him now, it was super casual. It was normal. I was honest, definitely like just was upfront.
Of course.
So it was, very good.
It's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And so like right now, like you're in this like, I'm telling you, because I've been through it, everybody's been through it, where you're trying things for an extended period of time. You have a little bit of things that work, a little bit of things that don't, you know what I mean? Like it's just like up and down. But then you start to feel like, okay, I'm in a good path. You're getting more yeses in life, like more like you're going in the right direction than no's. Like how are you feeling right now in your life after seeing, the past year and where you want to actually be going?
I mean, I'm here right now.
Yeah.
So that says more than enough. But I feel like amazing. I feel super good. I'm super happy. And also like, I remember 2025 January, I was every single day in the weekend, every single day in the holiday, I would go and come back to Dubai, back to Abu Dhabi. I would wake up at like 5 a.m. because I need to leave early, reach back home at like 12 a.m.
Insane.
11 p.m.
Insane.
Something like this.
Yeah.
And I was super sad because I was like alone. I didn't have money, uncomfortable. Like I was super sad. But wallahi, like I'm being real. I don't want to make this religious or anything. But the second like I prayed all 5 prayers, like I just felt good. I didn't worry. Like it all felt good.
Yeah.
So it showed me that like, no, it's not really about money. It's maybe about like me not paying. That's why I didn't feel good.
100%.
But yeah, that period was the worst. I didn't like this period. It was uncomfortable. I was at that time I was going to connect with people and record for a real estate agent. That was the first time I met Tam Khan. The real estate agent was a fitness coach. He was a freelance fitness coach. He was a fitness coach in TK gym. The guy was showering so he could wear his suit and stuff. I was in the prayer room praying. Tam Khan walks in. That was the first ever connection. First time I felt that feeling. No, it was Shara Bullet. I met Shara Bullet, the UFC fighter, and then Tam Khan. That was the first time I connected. Yeah.
Right, and you're getting your stripes and it's happening quick. And I think even something that you said about the prayer and just in general non-negotiables. So like if you know that, okay, every single day I'm gonna do these activities, then you know that the day was a win regardless of anything else, right? So if you know like, hey, I need to get X amount of steps, you know, I need to walk 10,000 steps a day, I need to record and edit one video, doesn't matter how well it performs. I need to pray 5 times a day and I need to drink 3 liters of water, for example. These are your non-negotiables that unless you're on the bed deathly sick, you know you can get done. And then everything else that you add on top is bonus that you want to do and you're going to continue to do. Because you're going to have days that are bad, days that are good on paper, right? Days where you have energy and time and things are flowing, and days where your brain's not working that well, you feel tired, you didn't sleep well, whatever it may be. So these non-negotiables have to be things that you can do no matter what, unless again, you're on your like deathbed, like sick. When you have those, then you know at the end of the day, hey, I still did the things I needed to do. And everything else is any sort of additional results is a cherry on top. So you almost have to want to plan for the worst days, for that to become your baseline. Once that baseline's easy, then you can add something in. And so that way you're not always, I think a lot of issues that we have for overachievers is that we're like, okay, today I need to record 5 videos, I need to finish this podcast, I need to work out for 2 hours, I need to get in 5 meals, I need to, and realistically that only works on maybe 2 out of 10 days because there's things that are going to be thrown in your way on majority of days where that's not going to happen. And then you feel guilty about it. So you want to make sure you have that baseline because then the day is a win regardless of what ends up happening. So it's very, very important to, you know, you have high goals, you have high expectations, but you also make sure that your minimum isn't going to fall down, right? Because if your minimum is not consistent, then you lose actually a lot of the motivation, a lot of the confidence around it. So yeah, no, I love that you have that as well.
And you need to talk about the like non-negotiables. You need to like this is something you really need to implement, and this is what I found out is you need to have them, and you need to believe that whatever happens is meant to be. As long as you're doing these things and they're good things, and you need to understand that there's good in things that you think are bad, and there's bad in things you think are good. Like I remember 2024, I was doing e-commerce. I got scammed by my supplier for like $15,000. It was crazy at that time.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I went from making literally $50 a month to like 10K, and then got scammed for $15K. And then after that, I think I told you about this. Like when I bought the tickets, I was reselling them. I had maybe like $25,000 in my bag in cash. Most cash I've ever held in my time. I was super happy. And then literally 2 hours later, I was getting jumped. I lost it all. But like, you need to believe that that is good. Even though like it's bad in the moment, it's really good. Because if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have gotten into sales. If I didn't get into sales, I wouldn't have met lots of people. I wouldn't have learned the skill. I wouldn't have gotten over my fears. So like, you really need to believe that if you're doing the right things, if you're praying all of the 5 prayers, if you have good faith, if you're a good person, whatever happens is meant to happen.
1,000%.
That's
1,000%.
This is something I definitely learned.
You're impatient with the actions, but you're patient with the results, or the outcomes. That's all it is. Like that's literally what it is. And exactly what you mentioned is that you know if that you're doing what you need to do, and that you're consistently collecting new context. So speaking to new people, trying new things, getting new data points into your head, and be reflecting upon those data points. As long as you continuously take action, reflect upon the action, take more action, reflect upon the action, and continue on that front, you're basically on paper guaranteed results. Those results might happen in 2 weeks, it might happen in 10 years. But as long as you continue to go, you don't stop, and you have those 2 things, you'll outlive or outwork, let's say, everyone else that didn't do those 2 things. That's all it is. And so again, the whole idea of the bell curve of IQ, where it's like the smartest guys, dumbest guys, whatever it is, in terms of intelligence, are still getting great results. And it's because they're not overcomplicating it. It's very simple. So you're doing exactly what you need to be doing.
And I've been following Moritz for like years now. And one thing he mentioned in one of his videos is like, you can't get rich easy, but you can get rich quick. Which is like urgency. Like I noticed this, like if it's really bad, if I really want it that bad, I could be posting 10 videos a day. But no, I'm just posting 2 videos a day. So like it's like a cake. Like you need to be doing everything. Like you can make a cake with 3 ingredients, eggs, whatever it is, or you can make it with like 10, where you add like sweeteners, chocolate chips, whatever it is. Like if you really want it, you would eventually have it.
Yes.
So it's like urgency also.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's next for you?
What's next for me? Definitely want to connect with more people. Need to grow my followers. I need to
Yes.
close some leads. Definitely get into good shape.
Yes.
To get rid of this. I can't have this.
Right.
And yeah, just need to, like I said, like it's super simple. It's just not easy.
Yeah. Bro, and this is a big part, man. There's only like shame in not knowing what the issue is or not trying to fix the issue. There's never, ever, ever shame on knowing what the issue is, actively working towards it, and being in that progress mode. And so it's like this, because I think a lot of us are motivated also by shame in ourselves sometimes. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we're like, we think, oh, like we should be doing better, or we should be doing X, Y, Z. But as long as you've isolated what the problem is, you're actively working towards it, then you got to get that negative frequency out of your head. Because when you're in that negative frequency, it actually dwindles your energy. When you're in an uptick and it's like, wait, I'm making progress. You know, if you go from, you know, there's people that are at, 400 kilograms. If they lose 40 kilograms, you know, and they lost 10% of their body weight, you know, someone else could see someone at 360 kilograms and be like, oh, that person's like, whatever, overweight. But it's like that person lost 10% already and they're going to continue to, that's amazing. That person should feel no shame. That person should be motivated to continue going. And that could be for money, that could be for, health, it could be for any sort of part of your life. And so it's important to be honest with yourself and brutal with yourself when it's like, okay, now, you know what, like, I've only been posting once a week. I know I could be posting at least once a day. I know I could be posting twice a day, and actually working towards it versus where it's like, you know what, I'm doing what I need to do. And I should have confidence around it. And I know that if I expand the timeline, I will get to where I want to get to. And just continuing on that front.
And one last thing I want to mention before we wrap this up. It's like, if you want things the majority don't have, you have to do things that the majority don't. And I think it all comes down to this, literally. Like I wanted to look Belmar. The majority would find it stupid and would make fun of it, like waiting in a restaurant, it sounds dumb. So I got something the majority don't.
Exactly.
Which is like a 7-minute interview. All of these views, now I'm here connected with you. So yeah, this is something I also believe in. If you want something the majority don't have, you have to do things that the majority don't do.
1000%.
Yeah.
I love it, bro. Let's crush it. I'm so excited, bro. We're going to do another one in a year or so here as well.
100%.
And I want to hear all the stories on that front. And anything you need, bro, you hit me up. I'm always here for you.
Appreciate you, man.
Of course, bro.